Good morning, everybody. My name is Alyssa Cooper, and once again, we are cooking in quarantine. So let's see, I got to get pretty far back here, don't I? Maybe I might need just a little bit of an adjustment. So let's do that so you're not looking at so much over my head. Let's see if that's better. Here we go. That should be better. Now, take two. My name is Alyssa Cooper, and this is Cooking in Quarantine. So guys, today I'm excited. People tease me because perhaps I am a planner and other people are not planners. But my bestie from college is coming this weekend and I'm thrilled. And so I thought that this would be a really good opportunity to talk about the kinds of things that I do when I'm going to have people over. So first of all, you know I live in a tiny apartment, so the second bed is a sleeper sofa. Of course, make sure that the sheets are clean, make sure all of the extra towels in the bathroom have been recently washed, because I always have towels out that are available for guests, but it's been probably 6 months since some of them have been used. And then I want to make sure, because I'm not a snacker, and so I don't ever have that kind of food laying around, so I try to do a few things that make it easy on all levels. So I'm going to make sure that I've got really delicious crackers, and I actually got a Tomcat baguette today that I'm going to not slice up, but put into chunks about this big and put in the freezer. Now, of course, I want to have fresh baguette, but you never know. It might be raining on Saturday morning, and I might not get to the bakery before people start coming in the house. So have a little backup high quality bread. That's a great thing to have. Really good quality crackers. Get 3 or 4 cheeses. Get some salamis and some meats out. Another thing I'm going to do is clean out my fridge, and because I'm cleaning out my fridge, I have some chives and some scallions that need to be used. So I'm going to make my own flavored cream cheese, and then one morning, if we need to, getting breakfast together for the house full of people is as simple as running to Murray's on 21st Street, getting some bagels and some sliced lox. Right? Super easy. Another thing, you have guests, have not just coffee, have excellent coffee. If you're one of those people that you make 2 or 3 pots of Folgers every day in your house, and it's always going, and you dump out this much in the last pot every day, go out and splurge a little bit. It's still less expensive than going to Starbucks. Get excellent coffee. My friend who's coming this weekend says that since his grandmother died, nobody makes coffee as great and as well as I do. So there's that. And then some other things that I'll do is I'll go ahead, I've got these pomegranate seeds that are kind of on their last leg, so I'm going to make some simple syrup out of that, and I'll go ahead and get some, maybe ginger, some rum, or go ahead and make some fresh sour mix, right? I have excellent quality ginger beer and excellent quality tonic water, so that there's always a cocktail that can be made lickety split. These are my insider tips for entertaining in small spaces, and this is really a big thing. If you drink vodka tonic, vodka soda, whatever, those kinds of things, the vast majority of what's in your glass is the soda water, is the tonic water. If you're not using high quality, you're really cheating yourself, especially if you're buying expensive gin or expensive vodka. What a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do. So anyway, and another thing, I have this out to remind myself. A few weeks ago, before we had an infusing alcohol week, if you remember, and I did some wild and wacky things here with flavoring alcohols and making brandied peaches and stuff. and took some of that, mixed it together, added some soda water, and got to Montauk and realized, at least the kids tell me, that what I made was basically White Claw, only delicious. And I have tasted White Claw 1 or 2 times, and it tastes like death to me. So anyway, so I'll make up a batch of my White Claw base, and then boom, we'll be ready for all kinds of things. And we can have a great deal of fun without a whole lot of worry. So what are we going to do today? We are going to learn how to, let me get these things out of the shot. Here we go. And so today we're going to make mayonnaise. So mayonnaise is really, really simple. It is egg yolks, acid, mustard, and oil. So what makes it challenging is that you are trying to get the yolk of the egg to combine with the oil, and they don't want to do that. So you're forcing it with air. That's the whole point, right? So of course, I never get everything exactly right. So here I am needing one more thing. Here we go. And so the recipe that I am going to use, I pulled off the internet. It's from the nice people at the kitchen. That's Jeffrey Zakarian and the former Mrs. Joel and and Sunny Anderson, who is adorable. I've met her before. And this is specifically their how to make it with an immersion blender. So I'm right here, 1 cup of canola oil. Plain organic canola oil. I do use organic things. New York is back. I buy things organic simply whenever I can, simply because I think that Roundup is what is killing everybody. And so if we don't literally put Roundup on it, I'm feeling pretty good about things. So we are going to separate yolks from whites. And I'm going to try not to break my yolk just because it's fun, but I already have. Okay, am I going to get any more white out of that? Just a little, almost. There we go, go. I've lost a tiny bit of my yolk because I've got a little piece of chunky albumin. There we go. Now I'm going to put that in there. Now, terrible mess I make all the time, right? Because I'm not really good at this. I just like to do it. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Excellent. Literally excellent. Okay. Excellent. Clearly I'm not planning to use the albumin for anything since I dumped everything right down into that container. So here we go. Now, give my hands a quick little rinse. I really could use a mani and a pedi, so that might be what I do for myself this afternoon. And then if I do something for myself this afternoon, then tomorrow I'm going to go give blood. I don't know if any of you are on the blood center, if you get alerts and such from them. But in the last few weeks, there has been a big toll on the blood supply. And if you are O positive, please go give blood. There are 2 in Manhattan that I can tell you offhand. One is right by, one is literally in Port Authority. So if you walk in the southernmost entrance off of 8th Avenue across from the New York Times building, walk right in, it's back to your right. Anybody can point you to it. There's also one at the other train station, Grand Central. Thank you. So please go give blood if you can. I applied to be, or was allowed myself to be tested to be part of a National Institutes of Health study because they were looking for people who are regular blood donors. And they told me an alarming fact that there are so few of us who are blood donors that every blood donor in the United States has to give a minimum of 3 times a year just to not run out of blood. So consider being a blood donor. It takes less than an hour of your time, and it can maybe save your own life. All right? So anyway, here's what we're going to do now. We've got my 2 egg yolks, and it tells me here that I want to combine the yolks, the lemon juice, my salt, and my mustard. So I'm going to put all of this into this little ramekin, which is a pretty good sized ramekin, and I'm going to get my salt here. So I need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Let me do this. Ta-da. Perfect. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I have mustard in a lot of different things, and I'm going to use here just the regular mustard, ground mustard seed. I also have Coleman's, which is hot and spicy and wonderful. I love Coleman's. If you've never had it, it's a game changer. Put a little Coleman's hot English mustard on a ham and butter sandwich, and you can thank me later. Okay, let me see if I can do this without unhanding myself. Ah, fantastic. Okay, and now I need a 1/2 teaspoon of this. Here we go. Oh my, this is very clumpy. Brand new. Let's see what I can do here. There we almost go. My goodness. Maybe I'll make it with the Coleman's Hot English next time, just because it'll be easier to scoop out of the container. Here we go. There we go. And that looks pretty good. Probably put one more little bit there. Excellent. Now I've got my mustard, mustard, salt, and let me make sure I'm correct, and the lemon juice. So, and then I want a teaspoon, and it can be vinegar also if you don't have a fresh lemon. I have a lemon seed right there. Let's try to get it seed free. Hang on. Get that out. Perfect. Lemon juice. Excellent. Now, immersion blender. And I think I'm going to plug it in over here. There are fewer things to knock over. Oh, perfect. I love this. This has fast become my favorite little kitchen tool. Now that I know I can make those fabulous little frozen coffee drinks. Oh, it's just wonderful. So, this is so shallow. It's hardly even touching it, is it? Okay. So, there we go. So now they say that the thing that is really the key to this is to adding the oil a tiny bit at a time, just a couple of teaspoons at a time. Now I am going to start a little bit so that this comes up enough to hit the blades, and then now I have it on low right now, and I probably will eventually move it out of this ramekin, because of course this ramekin's not going to be big enough to hold all of this. But I want to get it started so that my egg and my salt and the oil, everything is all together. Okay, so now we've got a good start here. And now I'm going to take this as nature intended me to use. And so now I'm going to dump all of this right in here. And I'm going to scrape it all out. Oh, this is good. Let's scrape all that out, because there's some of that dry stuff is still on the bottom. There we go. Let's do that. Perfect. Okay. And thank goodness for the towel. Excellent. So now we're just going to, I'm going to turn this up to high, and I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to add a little bit of oil, and I'm just going to wait. Now let's see. This seems to say that after I get to the end, after I get the first half cup in here, that I can do it more than just a teaspoon or so at a time. Put that here so I'm not going to lose any. Let's see. But we need to make sure that it's fully blended first before we add more. Yep, here we go. And I'm going to add a little bit more. That's a couple of teaspoons, I'm going to say. Now you can do this with a whisk. I would suggest if you're going to do it with a whisk that you also do it in a cold metal bowl. And I didn't just raise my hand up over my head. My metal bowls are all the way up here. See here. Just a little bit more. Nice. Gotta switch hands. It's tiring holding all that. Holding this down. There we go. So, I'd love for any of you out there that are watching to share your favorite tips for having house guests. What do you like to do to be well prepared and have things comfortable and lovely for your pigs? You know, I was just thinking, blankets haven't been out of the blanket chest in months, and so I need to probably add one of those, add a couple of blankets, because I don't know about where you are, but in New York it was in the 50s overnight, which makes me so happy. I love, love, love it when, okay, let me see what this says. The more oil I add, the thicker the mayonnaise will become. You may not need to use all of it. If the mayo becomes too thick, I need to thin it out with water. And then we need to, of course, put it into a storage container, right? And when we're talking about homemade mayonnaise, there's no stabilizers, there's no preservatives, so it's not going to be good in the fridge forever. Use it within a week. Alright, so this is not thick enough. Gotta add more oil. There we go. More oil. And I'm holding it up a little bit so that more air is hitting the middle of this, so it's not too much just sitting it at the bottom. I'm going to let the air get in it. Yes, yes, yes. Alright. More. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, and I know that altitude is an issue with these kinds of things. So if you are somebody who is dealing with making any of the things that we make here at altitude, give me a shout out. Also, my friend who is coming, it's his birthday on Friday, and so I thought, why not make a cake? And it just occurred to me that probably the best place, silly me, I live so close to what we here call Cake and Bake, and it is a big, beautiful, giant emporium that has everything you need to bake. And I mean, if you're making a wedding cake or a quinceañera cake or that kind of thing, that's what we're talking about. Let's see. Here we go. Adding some more. I think it needs to be thicker. So anyway, another one of my plans here is that I thought I could make some chipotle mayonnaise or maybe some garlic mayonnaise. I saw a great recipe that called for mayonnaise with honey and it actually called for Pommery mustard, and which is, you know, the kind that comes in the big crock and the red top, right, and has the whole mustard seed. And I've realized that there are some crazy things going on in New York, going on in the world, because I can't just walk in and presume to find the things that I need wherever I happen to go. Now, as sometimes happens when you make a recipe that you've never made before, you may find that maybe it really doesn't work like you'd like for it to. So I'm going to keep working on this, but this seems to not be thickening up as much as I would like for it to. Let's find out what happens. How about I do this? Let's see if my timer is working. My timer is being very, very wonky. Here we go. Good. Let's give ourselves 3 minutes and see what happens. All right? Go. Ready, set. Hello. Hang on, I gotta come see who's here first. Jules. Hi, my love. I love you. So I'm making mayonnaise and it's not thickening up. I'm afraid that the people on the Food Network have lied to me. Shh. Let's see. So here we go. I am almost to the full cup. It says the more oil you add, the thicker it becomes, but I'm not sure how thick it's going to be. Here we are. 45 seconds. It's still not very thick. I'm going to pour some more oil in. See, this is what I get for being the one person on TV, on Facebook TV, who tries untested recipes live on TV, on my own Alyssa Cooper cooking channel. Holy hell in a handbasket. I am trying. She's not working out. Would somebody like to text to those guys on the Cooking Network and say, hey, how come my friend's immersion blender mayonnaise is not thickening up? Pulse. Yes. Yes. A few tablespoons at a time. Make sure that completely, yes. The mixture should start to thicken and lighten. It's not really thickening and it's not really lightening. So guys, we may have to come back tomorrow with somebody else's recipe and find out why my mayonnaise is not thickening up. I've made no mistakes. What do you think is wrong? I read somewhere that Mars is going retrograde. Do you think that could be it? I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. You know, this is terrible because literally this is supposed to be one of the easiest things in the world to do. And I'm not sure what could be wrong here that's keeping mine from thickening up. But it's been almost another 3 minutes. And it's really just not thickening at all. What have I done wrong? I've done nothing wrong. I followed the recipe perfectly. And you know, that's not like me. I'm always, and that's another 3 minutes. So look, it's still just as, it's as runny as water. Not thickening at all. Well, guys, I don't know what to say, except that I've been at this for the better part of a half an hour. And I don't know how much more I have in me to do with this. So, don't use that recipe. How about that? Don't use that recipe. I don't know what else to say. It doesn't happen that often that things fail so miserably, especially things that are supposed to be really very, very simple. So anyway, maybe we'll learn to make mayonnaise another day by somebody else's recipe. You know what? I'm going to go down here and I'm going to find Cook's Illustrated how to make an immersion blender, and we'll get back to that another day. So thanks for dropping by. Thanks for being with me when I have a failure. I hope that I am generous and kind, and I apologize for trash talk in the kitchen, people, but I'm very confused as to why this recipe is not working. So anyway, that is all I know, my friends. I'm going to wash my hands because they're eggy. And I think I'm going to go now to Take and Bake, and maybe I'll do a live remote from Take and Bake, and we can see all the cool things that they have there. So I love you guys. Let's regroup tomorrow, and maybe we'll learn how to make mayonnaise tomorrow. Who knew? Thanks for being with me. Ciao.